the frame I'm going to build, and it looks kind of like that down here. That's what it's going to end up with. I might repurpose these cleats so that it works slightly differently. I'll do that at the time. We'll see how it goes. One of the things I'm concerned about is the length of the screws between the 2x4s. I think the saying is 2/3 of the screw should be in the piece of wood that you're joining. It should be fairly robust because I'm using 2x4s, but at the end of the day, we'll see what happens because, you know, children and pets, you know, have an effect on these things. We're ready to go. Let's see, so I've got my cut list here. I've got the pieces of wood. I've made a mark here. This one's going to be 42 inches, but what I'm going to do is get them all just outside of 42 inch and cut them down, stack them up 2x2, and then clean them up and get them all leveled off. So let's go get on with the cutting. So, 4 of these legs, 6 of these ladders, and 8 of the rungs. So, what I realized was that the depth of my unit was 24 inches. So I'm going to go slightly under and trim off the edges of all the rungs, which are supposed to be 24, and make them slightly shorter, but make them all slightly shorter so it matches. And that's what I found about woodworking, is that initially the first couple of projects I did was infuriating because getting precise measurements on anything was really annoying. Now, after 24, I think there was a project where I had about 12 hours or more of sanding, and I was like, geez, you know, next time, just, you know, if getting a project to look good just requires sanding it into shape, I'm just gonna get close just about there and then make it fit. No one knows except I did, but everyone's like, and I think that's what you got to get over that hump. It's just like get it rough and then smooth it out. The next, bloody splinters. All right, the next step is to make ladders or the sides of this container unit, this side of the unit. I've screwed these 2 pieces of wood to act as a helper. So you just squared it off. These just 2 straight into the workbench. That's what it's for drilling holes into. And I'm going to call these helpers. I know they're probably, people call them jigs, but that's something you do in dancing, really, isn't it? But cool. Next step is to line all these up and probably get another helper to work out the distances between each one of these perpendicular supports, and just drill those all up and go from there. There we go. Let's move this thing into its final location and see how things are. Good enough. Good enough. Hey everyone. So if you stuck around up to here, thank you, and here's a little bonus section where I took what I learned to make something substantially bigger. I grabbed some more wood from Home Depot and got to cutting it down to size. At some point I have to make a table for this miter saw, but until then I put together this jig to ensure each piece was the correct length. Look at that, a lovely uniform stack of wood. Moving on, I pulled out the trusty right angle to make another spacer jig. So the sides of the unit are effectively a ladder, so what you want to do is make sure that the space between each rung is big enough to fit the depth of the tote unit. So this jig really speeds up the entire process, and especially when you have to make 3 of these ladders, air quotes. And then finally a quick test run with some of the totes just to make sure that you know everything was fitting correctly before putting it in its final space. And that's the beauty of DIY, because there was some options available that I could have bought just off Amazon, but they weren't quite right. So what to do? Either pay up for something quick that doesn't quite fit but is good enough, or put aside a chunk of time and get that custom fit. That's something one has to really figure out themselves. But anyway, thanks for watching, and see you next time.